didn't. So, full stop. Yes and. I haven't learned that rule yet. I'm about to learn it in improv class, but at the moment...
Bad improv. Throw it back to me. I bet you
simply
even
won't.
said full stop.
Carl, you asked a question and I answered, so there you go. Full stop.
My name's Carl. Go on, you ruined my opening.
Okay. My name's Oscar.
This is who we watch this.
This is who we watch
This is a bad omen, huh?
There's also a crow in the corner, so watch out for that. Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about A Haunting in Venice, which currently has a 3.2 on Letterboxd, a 7.2 on IMDb, and a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oscar, what's the plot?
In a post-World War II Venice, Poirot, now retired and living in his own exile, reluctantly attends a séance. But when one of the guests is murdered, it is up to the former detective to once again uncover the killer.
Wow, he did well.
Yeah, he did well.
He did well.
Thank you.
Spoilers, God, he solves it.
Who saw that coming, huh?
Huh? Who would have seen him solve it?
Blown away, honestly. I was about to leave. I was like, there's no way this I haven't figured it out, so there's no way Poirot could. Let's just get out of here, huh? But they nailed it.
Let's go back in time to before we had seen the movie and try to figure out who would watch us.
Carl, we're venturing to the cinema next week for more Poirot. I haven't got enough of it in my veins. You keen? Who do you think's going to watch this one, huh?
I am shocked they've made a third.
Talk around the town is it's okay.
Nice.
Which is
better than before.
I guess bad for this podcast, but I guess good for us in the sense that it might be an okay movie, which would be nice, huh? Huh?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be good? Just something a little bit competent.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. The other two are like whatever. So it's not like the bottom of the barrel anyway.
I feel like we're definitely venturing into a bit of like they're okay territory with these ones.
Yeah.
They're fun to.
I mean, we're doing them because they're mildly memes.
Yeah.
So, and A Haunting in Venice, surely that's ripe for a meme.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Am I right?
The teens on TikTok are blowing up on Haunted Talk.
This is going to be the new Minions.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure, hopefully, when we go to the cinema, it's just going to be a lot of like 15-year-olds delicately watching A Haunting in Venice.
Dressed in the big moustaches. They're loving it. They're
absolutely.
laughing.
And every time he shows up, they comb. They comb their little nose.
It's huge on Comb Talk.
Yeah.
You gotta get on Comb Talk, Carl. Oh, the kids on there love it. Who do we think's gonna watch A Haunting in Venice?
15-year-olds with giant mustaches. Who's gonna watch it? This one, I feel like this one's maybe a little bit more interesting because it's got like a spooky angle to it.
Yeah.
It's also based on like a not that well known one of Agatha Christie's. I mean, but who even knows if the screenwriter's just gone, I'm just gonna fucking run with it.
I'm gonna figure it out. That's also not a good thing if it's like an unpopular Agatha Christie.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we did not like this. They're like, let's nail it for the third.
They clearly probably just wanted to make like a horror-esque one, and like, did any of them have that influence? And it was like one at the bottom of the barrel. They're like, oh, even Agatha Christie hated that one. I guess we'll make it for her.
Put it on the big screen. That would really please her estate.
Yeah. Look, if you like the other two, I feel like that's the easiest one to go, huh? If you've already sunk all your money into watching Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express, or Haunting in Venice is probably going to be for you.
I think this one would be a great one for people to get into Poirot, kind of see where it starts, and then just work your way backwards.
You reckon this is going to be the entry point?
It's kind of like Star Wars. You got to watch the prequels. I assume this one will be a prequel, and then you got to watch the later ones.
How crazy would it be if we found out he is who he is due to when he was involved in a séance in Venice? What a reveal that would be.
Fun if it wasn't that this was set in like the 1920s. It's like, I'm just a young man. Well, we were in war. So he finished the war, got blown up, was like, I gotta go to Venice and gotta get some haunting, huh?
I think it would be great if this is his like end game. So with a séance, he ventures back into his other mysteries and experiences them from a whole other angle. Back to the Future 2, if you will.
Oh, definitely, yes, I will. And I will.
Back to the Haunting in Venice.
It's got a ring to it.
It does. It really rolls off the tongue.
That's the thing. Back to the Future is so succinct, and so is Back to the Haunting in Venice. Comma, a Poirot tale, comma, Agatha Christie tale.
Comma.
Full stop. 3. Carl. We are fresh out of the cinema.
And I'm spooked.
Oh my god, he's so spooked. Look at
This
him.
movie
He's
was-
freaking out. He's freaking out.
It was so spooky.
Oh, such a spook
I'm
fest.
so spooked.
Here's the thing. You watch Scooby-Doo and you think, fuck me dead. How do the actors do it? And then we just saw that on the screen as well. So it's an absolute task
It's
for them.
so Scooby-Dooey, but like definitely the cartoon one with the canned laughter. That level of Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, Bandera?
Bambaris?
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. Strides
Bandera.
out. Yeah. That kind of vibes. Where do we start with this one? Do we just jump straight into it?
Okay, because we didn't take notes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell. I'll be honest.
It is okay.
I'm tired.
We
had some prosecco.
Oh, the cinema was like, "Hey, you guys going to see A Haunting in Venice? You probably need some alcohol," and they were right. So the first 30 minutes, a bit of a blur for me, at least.
Yeah, I know, it was not nice prosecco.
No.
I was like, they're giving it away by the gallon, and I finished mine so quickly. So much prosecco.
I'm hungover. I mean, I still think it's one of the better. There's still the better of the Poirots, but I'm slightly hungover. I'm tired.
What type of mentality is it that I had a sip of that prosecco and I was just like, oh, it's awful. I better just knock it back.
You're an alcoholic. I don't know why you want
I was
diagnosis.
I finished it so I could fill it with my own flask. It's a Thursday.
We've seen this. Let's get into the bits that I remember. Straight off, we're in Venice, huh?
Yeah, there's a bird attacks another bird.
Yes.
And Poirot wakes flustered.
Yes.
Straight off the bat, did he see this earlier and it disturbed him, or did he feel it when that bird died?
I don't know. They're kind of going for this whole thing like, is it like witchcraft or is it just real life? And the film kind of will have both ways.
It's just nonsense because straight up, you know this type of movie and you know it's always going to be like, it's both.
Yeah.
It's always fucking both.
It's always like 90% like, hey, sometimes you just need rationale. And then that little bit of, but maybe there's a bit of magic in the air, huh?
No. I'm going to flat out say, I mean, the movie obviously wanted to be like, hey, it's both, but it's like, they're going to reveal he was on heavy opium.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, the guy was on opium. Poirot was fucking doped up. This is why this one worked. Poirot doped
He was
film.
dope for the second one as well. Okay. Well, let's get him back to we finished off. He was about to ask out a squeeze. He shaved his mustache.
Yeah.
And I think he was like in the prime of his life. We
Yeah.
now get back to him after the war. Things have gone down the fucking.
I would
toilet.
have loved a beautiful, harrowing monologue about how when he went to ask her out at the end of the last movie, she looked at his mustacheless face and went, ghastly!
Oh God, you look hideous. Grow it back and maybe come back to you. And he just
Grow it back and go to Venice.
and then we'll chat. A lot of things dropped. I think the filmmakers knew that people, one, don't remember Murder on the Orient Express and didn't watch Death of the Nile. So his wife's out the picture. His second one's out the picture. And we're just going to go straight into Poirot's retired. But is he?
It was, I think, smart for them to this time round just be like, just get Poirot in the mystery. It's probably like 3 minutes before he's in the mystery, right?
Yes.
Like when he meets Tina Fey,
Tina Fey
so
comes up to her,
quick
hey
in the
kid,
film.
want to make a book? See? She's like that close to not saying she, but like that accent.
There is a cut as well towards the beginning of the movie that just threw me, and I wasn't sure if it was like my tired eyes. I'd missed it, but somebody gets like tousled into the water.
Yes.
And the splash is a boat.
Yeah.
And it was
it's
like,
a weird match cut that didn't
it was crazy to even put a match cut there.
Yeah. This film's got an odd sense of editing and camera angles and cinematography.
It's got a style.
It's got a style. And great for the film because the last ones haven't.
No, I think smart that the
Yeah.
movie's like, hey, we haven't got CGI this time around. I was like, big plus.
Yeah.
Big plus to just be shooting your
They've
shit
got
in
on
Venice.
It's like during COVID times, so no one's allowed out. So they're like, oh, yes, 1942 Venice. No one was walking around here now. There's no tourists or anything. And it's set mostly in a house, which I
Yeah.
think they do a good job of not feeling too claustrophobic. But to get away from that, some of the camera angles and editing choices are bombastic.
Oh, he's obsessed with a Dutch angle.
Oh, God.
I felt attacked by all the Dutch angles.
Dutch angles, big like fish-eyed like lenses of the whole room.
Absolutely.
Odd,
I've never
framing.
seen Michelle Yeoh in such a fisheye before.
Oh my god, she was staring down the camera,
Oh,
spitting on
absolutely.
us.
It felt like it was 3D, like she was going to bite my face off. I was like, God, you can have it, Michelle. Take my face if you will.
Tina Fey's a writer.
Yep.
I'm not gonna. Sadly, for the other ones, we didn't have to learn their names. This one, some of the character actors, not big names. So,
It's just, I guess, whoever was in Venice.
yeah.
You know, they were like, we're shooting over here. Is anyone already here? And Tina Fey was like, I'm in lockdown over in that sinking building. They were like, great, you're in. Co-lead.
She recruits him. I don't know. She's pretty much like, I'm writing a book on this woman when I come to the séance. For 3 movies, Poirot has not wanted a case, and yet he keeps getting dragged into it.
I know. It's funny how much he hates a mystery.
Oh, he hates a mystery.
Well, because I was trying to think, how is he paid?
I don't know.
Because he has never been given money at the end of these mysteries.
No, and he's not like a cop. He's not like, the cops aren't going, great, you've earned, like, I don't know, you've done 20 hours on your timesheet, put it there. He's just been on very lavish holidays.
And he seems rich.
Yeah,
Right?
very bougie.
So...
Did you like they kept the egg thing from the other films?
Oh, here's something actually about the movies is I've never enjoyed that egg bit. And it's crazy to me. They've spent over, I don't know, what do you reckon, like nearly $300 million
Yeah.
on 3 separate films, and they've gone, people love the egg bit.
You say that. The audience, and here's the thing, this whole conceit of the podcast is who would watch this? We know
It was the audience. It was the audience we were with.
We know exactly.
They were hootering and hollering.
The median age was 52, and I had a bunch of kids like in my backpack, so
Yeah.
it was brought down. The amount of cardigans, oddly colored cardigans in that cinema, crazy, and they loved the egg bit. I couldn't believe it.
They did.
One, they remembered it, and 2 were gaggling.
I assumed a few of them had done the all-night marathon. Bounce.
Watch Murder on the Orient Express, cool down, Death of the Nile, back to murder to bring you back up, and then straight into Venice.
Oh my god, I could not imagine anything worse. That's such a death sentence
I
to me.
do think it's probably the better one. However, it was just a bit more creatively interesting, and it was 90 minutes.
Oh my god,
The
it's
90
so
minute-
much.
Oh my god.
I do think it's like, I mean, the middle is slow, but this is a much better paced movie than the other two. It's like constantly far more like interesting.
There's not enough famous people in it for them to get bogged down. Like, they need some screen time. They're like, all right, we got Tina Fey. Well, she's done. So we're going to get to the Michelle Yeoh séance scene.
Yeah.
I said that 6 times.
Huh?
Séance scene.
Seance. Really quickly, what was this whole like Tina Fey gives an apple?
I don't get the apple symbolism in this one at all. There was like that one, there was like the apple bobbing, and one scene someone crushes an apple. In one scene, there's this like cryptic like thing that I assume maybe it's just a red herring, but kind of an annoying red herring. Just a red apple herring. Wasn't happy about it, but it does pop up a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Was it maybe, I don't know, is it meant to be an Adam and Eve thing? Evil? I don't know.
think like a Snow White poison thing. You know, that film was big around when this was like 1943. Snow White had just come out. Maybe the apple, was popping
apples
up.
were in, Tina Fey was just like, I've just seen Snow White, Poirot. I
gotta
recommend.
yeah.
Take an apple.
Hitler loves it. And was it? They're in Italy. So I don't know how Italy fared after the war. They were okay.
Have you been to Venice?
I have been to Venice.
Yeah, same. What would you say about it?
Well, I did. There was a couple of murders. I did get haunted. It's very overpriced.
It is. It's so
The
overpriced.
little square in the middle. I
Oh my
couldn't
God.
believe it. The person I was with, we sat down to like get a coffee. Cause like, St. Mark's Square. I can't remember what it's called. But the like coffee price, it was like 40 euros
Oh my
for a
God.
coffee. I couldn't believe it. One other family had like 5 coffees and like 7 Danishes. I'm like, it's like a 400 euro meal and it looks shit. But yeah.
I think when I was there, I think I just got KFC, which is
Honestly,
so obtuse.
Oh no, you got it because the pizza's like overpriced and kind of crap.
It's
I got Chinese. Amazing Chinese.
It's also flat out where I had, I think, the worst meal in all of Europe when I was there. It was like, it was soggy pizza. They were playing cover songs of famous songs from YouTube in the restaurant.
Gotcha, classic.
Yeah, and it was like the friend I was with had lasagna, and it was like frozen dead in the middle.
Ugh.
And it was easily one of the most expensive meals we had in all of Europe. It was fucked up. You know when you spend your money so poorly, you're in a bad mood for like 5 hours. Like, I just
You're like looking at your bank account like, why did I do this to myself? I've really hurt me.
they were like, here's your like complimentary bread, and it was a basket filled of individually plastic wrapped like savory biscuits. I just remember being like, we're gonna take all of these. Just
If I'm
like
paying 500 euros on a goddamn shitty pizza, I'm taking the free biscuits. Okay.
so I know it's not modern day, but I would have loved Poirot to have the same experience.
Oh, I think if it was set in modern day, it'd be great. Tina Fey's like, I'm writing a book about murders. No one gives a shit. It was a podcast, really. I'm doing Serial again. Could you drum it up and happen to me?
Maybe that's what the egg bit was.
Oh, clever.
Him being like, oh, look at these eggs, and they're just like 40 euros. And he's like, oh my God, what's the balance in the world? Am I right?
They're keeping that balance. Anyway, we're at the seance. I don't know. They're very quick with the thing.
They
Like,
are.
Michelle Yeoh's doing a thing. Come over.
We meet everyone. Everyone comes over in boats. I will also say they all come in separate boats. What a waste.
Oh, the
It was
expense!
like-
It's so expensive. I didn't do it, but the gondola guy was like, "Hey, want to jump on board? It's only 100 euros a minute." You're like, "Oh God!" I don't know what it was like in 1947, but I assume
It
similar.
was more. Believe it or not, it's a better euro now.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I mean, I hope so. I mean, Italy was kind of fucked. So
Just Poirot being like, and I'm at my seance, and they're like, that's 900 euros for that gondola across the river, and he's like, oh God,
I serve murders for a living. I can't afford this.
I'm
not a prince.
never been paid. Murder stumbles upon me.
Yeah, it's okay. We've got Tina Fey. She writes books. We got
Yep.
Michelle Yeoh,
She's the seance lady.
seance lady.
She brings 2 people to help.
2 assistants.
I'm not even going to acknowledge them the rest
They
of this
get nothing.
conversation.
They're red herrings, but the film
They're not even
blows
red
their load
herrings.
at like 20 minutes, and you're like, let's not even bother.
You know when you're just like, it's absolutely not these people.
Mm.
Like, imagine if they were just like, yeah, we're gonna give like, it's just if you're like an actor and you're after a part, like you want to be the murderer.
Yes.
Like a murderer is always gonna have a juicy moment. They're not
Yes.
gonna give it to these no-name fuckers.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And the one from Yellowstone's like, could be me. Shit, don't know.
I don't know. Don't look me
Mass-
in the eye. It could be me.
Massive TV show, but who cares?
I don't know. Get Paramount Plus.
So we've got Jamie Dornan,
Yeah.
Doorman,
Doorman.
and his son.
Yes.
He's a little freak, and I only say that about the character, but it's lucky for me because all the other characters refer to him as that weird kid.
Oh my God! Everybody's creeped out by the kid. The kid himself is haunted.
Oh yeah,
He is like the most intelligent little kid ever. I
he's pretty much
guess.
Artemis Fowl. I mean,
Yeah.
like Kenneth would know.
Oh my God! Kenneth wishes he'd cast this kid as
Yeah,
Artemis Fowl.
He must be like so pissed. I mean, he got the Belfast kid.
I know, but he's
must
like,
be
God,
pissed
I
off.
wish I'd gotten Artemis Fowl.
He loves a
post
little
Belfast.
freaky kid that just can do most of the legwork for the film.
He does. This is him just clawing at trying to do another Artemis Fowl. He's like, I don't know, can I spin off with this kid? his dad's dead.
It felt spin-offy, didn't it?
It did.
This kid was like a mini Poirot. Dare I say, I think he's the modern day Poirot.
He is. I would imagine if he got like the Young Poirot series on Disney Plus. It's like the little adventures of young Poirot. Look at him on a little murder on the Orient Express.
Who else we got? We've got the one from Yellowstone, Kelly Riley. She's the mother of the woman that's been killed. So that's why Michelle Yeoh's here.
Yeah.
We've also got, who else we got?
We've
the
got-
bodyguard.
So we've got the bodyguard. Nobody cares about him.
Yeah.
We've got so Kelly Riley's daughter was killed last year.
Last year.
Yeah. It's really confusing to me because they explain the daughter and Kelly Riley, right? When a man rocks up just before they do the seance, right,
Yeah.
and has been invited for the night, I thought he was the dad of...
I did too. And I thought Jamie Dorman's character was her wife. It's a bit of a mess.
I was so confused. So when we found out at the end... Not that we found out at the end, it was just me not picking up on it, but who I thought was the dad was dating the daughter? I was
Yeah.
like, oh... Because when you find out the kid is Jamie Doran's kid, I was just like, where the fuck's the dad then?
Yeah.
Like, I just couldn't... But also, the other thing that kept blowing my mind was they were all just like, ugh, we're just popping around America. And I'm like, you're in Venice. He's like, I'm on my way to New York. I'm like, Venice
You
isn't
took a
on the
weird
way.
detour. Why'd you go this way? He's like, I heard there's a seance. I had to pop over. Why wouldn't I?
I got this when I was hitting Chicago. And I knew I had to come to Venice. It was just wild. They were all just like, we're really keen to go to Michigan.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
Oh, God, you're in Venice. You're in Italy.
You're in Venice.
Stay
This is way-
here.
Imagine, like, it was just a weird aspiration that all of them were like, God, get me to America.
I want to be in a middle-class state.
Yeah.
I hear the wars popped off. I guess I guess Europe was fucked, weren't they? If I were in Missouri, doesn't sound too
It's
bad.
true. I guess actually it's true. Because they were all just like, we just saw a film and we want to go to there.
Yeah.
Like, say, oh, okay. You go live out
You
your
guys,
film.
you guys
then.
live it out, huh?
Yeah.
So the seance happens, okay? They're all around the table.
What do you think of the seance?
I was really happy with the camera stuff beforehand. They're like, let's get wacky with it. It's kind of fun, but then
They type the letters.
they do.
M.
My
Y.
typewriter. I do like Poirot stops it halfway through and goes, listen, I know how they're doing it. They've got
Yeah.
a magnet thing and click. You know, and that's how the assistants are helping.
Yeah, not to compare it too much, but it was like very reminiscent of like in Glass Onion when he solves the mystery like
yeah.
immediately. It was that, but I still enjoyed it.
Well, it's weird because he solves the mystery immediately, and then Michelle Yeoh's like, but this is another thing that's happening, and they're like, shit, well, that just happened. It's like, I just solved how she did it.
Yeah.
Give me the credit. Like, you can't solve it right now. He's like, well, I just figured out one. Give me some time.
She pretends to be like possessed, right?
Spun around,
and
yes.
she's spinning around. Yeah, she's spinning.
The film, I guess, at one point at the end, the reveal, Tina Fey is pulling some strings to open a door. I guess she was just pulling another string. A lot of people were
There
helping.
need to be a cog.
Oh,
You're telling me somebody installed a cog in there?
You gotta install a cog in a chair if you wanted to perform a fake seance, Carl. Everyone knows that.
It would be a great reveal if at the end of the movie he was like, I know who the murderer was. Cogs! And just like took a sheet away and all the cogs were like joining the entire premises. Now that is a twist.
We should also explain, this house is it doesn't really go into it. I think, and I don't mind because, fuck it, let's get rid of the time. But it's like an orphanage that has like a curse on it.
Yeah.
Do you imagine?
They hate doctors and nurses.
Yes.
Which is funny too, because it's happenstance that those are the only people that are being killed off. But the person that is doing the killing keeps on just being like, I'm a doctor. It's another doctor. Wow. Oh, she was a nurse at some stage. Shit. This place is haunted. Let me get away with murder.
Crazy. So the seance happens. They're pretty much like, hey, there was a murder here, but don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Michelle Yeoh is dead.
Yeah.
Thrown from a balcony.
She gets a ghastly murder.
15 minutes into the film.
Yeah, huge. I was like, oh, so it's Michelle Yeoh that's not sticking around.
Yeah.
She's the one getting out of here quick as anything.
She won the Oscar midway through filming. She's like, Kenneth, hey, buddy, more money or I'm out.
Answer
I'm
the
out.
call. Yeah, I'm not coming into work tomorrow.
Did you see the movie? Yeah, everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of award. 5. Yeah. So I'm not coming in.
Swept, you might say.
Oh, and they did say,
Yeah.
remember 1917? No, I don't. Look at my Oscar right now. Tells what it tells you.
Oh, sorry, how many Oscars did Belfast win last year? That's what I thought. I'll come back, but I want money. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
I scattered at my chest.
Yeah.
Kenneth just polishing his little wand, just like, I swear to God, this. Honestly, by the 4th one, this will be sweeping the Oscars. I'll say it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's like Poirot meets Artemis Fowl.
Oh, huge. Poirot in Belfast? What does he get up to? The sad Irish famine. How about that?
It's crazy it was the same dad and child from Belfast. Because Jamie Dornan was in that.
Oh,
as
is
well.
he?
Yeah. That kid must just be sick of him.
I wouldn't say sick of it.
Imagine if that kid
was just
came
sick
to
of-
work and was like, oh, and who's playing my dad? And they're like, oh, Jamie Dornan from Kenneth's like, in Belfast. It's like a little mini reunion. Just the kid's like, are you fucking kidding me? Jamie was so unprofessional in Belfast. That's fucked. Are you kidding me? Oscar chances are fucked, Kenneth. Oh.
You made this massive backstory of this child just like being a diva on set, just cigarette. Like, I'm not performing Jay. He was he didn't get the troubles of Ireland. I did as a 8-year-old.
Jamie, The kid's just like, I had to play young Kenneth. How do you think that made me feel, Jamie? And you gave me nothing. All film, you gave me nothing.
I had Kenneth breathing down my fucking neck, constantly going, I wouldn't have said that as an 8-year-old. What fucking note is that, huh? I can't work with that.
Why'd he let me improv? I'm 9.
I wasn't born during the... No one has iPhones here. I haven't got a fucking reference for where we are at.
You're so lucky, Jamie, it was in black and white. You're so fucking lucky they couldn't see that acting past the black and white. You were so saturated. So goddamn saturated.
Michelle Yeoh is killed. She lands on a big statue. Poirot's like, all right, shut down the whole building.
No, we're missing an integral part.
Okay.
The best part.
Okay.
Michelle Yeoh goes, a little mask for Kenneth.
Yes.
And a little cape for Kenneth.
Yes.
And Kenneth is like, I guess I don't usually have any fun.
She negs him. She goes, you look like you're fucking uptight. There's a bit of a weird thing that we're not taught that's Kenneth's retired essentially from the thing. I don't know. Maybe I feel like we skipped a movie. But yeah, he's like, I will have a little fun. Maybe I'll go apple bopping.
It was crazy, Phil. So the camera angle's pointing up at the apples.
Yes.
You know when you're just like, oh, they're not acting, it's just somebody struggling? It was just Kenneth with his little tongue and his lips just being like, where's that little apple? Just,
I like he had a monitor underneath the apple like bowl and was also looking at his performance going, oh, I'd have a little nibble here. It's great. For the first time ever, anyone's figured out, hey, maybe I should kill the detective. And the murderer goes, oh, sorry, you're the wrong person I was meant to kill. You're fine. I'll let you live. Odd choice.
It's crazy. In the flashback, the killer's just like trying to kill Kenneth and it's like, oh, no, this is definitely a fully grown man and not a petite woman. And then turns around and Michelle Yeoh is just like walking across the hall. Didn't even hear Kenneth struggle and she's like, I'll attack you now.
Why did she stop killing Kenneth? I don't know why she would stop that.
I don't know. Maybe she thought it's crazy. She doesn't wait to do this murder until he's left.
No, this happened 3 times. Surely, I'm sure Agatha Christie has a bit better like example of this. Constantly, Kenneth's like, "Hi, I'm a detective. I've solved every murder I've ever figured out. What are we doing today?" And the murderer's going, "I think the time is hot. Let's strike now." It's crazy, and she had the best chance, and she didn't use it.
I know she has easily as the killer so far out of the 3 films,
Yeah.
best chance of getting away with it.
Yeah.
And she stupidly does not. But again, I think, she's got weak motives. So who's to say?
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. Do we spoil who the killer is?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why we haven't.
Yeah. It's
Kelly Riley.
Kelly Riley. She's the mother of the woman that was killed.
Yeah.
And Michelle Yeoh was doing the séance on. So her motives, we'll get into her motives later, but she's the killer.
Yeah. So now Kenneth's gonna be like, okay, let me go and I'll take Tina Fey. I'm gonna chat to everybody like I do every movie.
Tina Fey's now our Walk replacement.
Yeah.
Because they killed off Walk and did not think they would get a third.
It crushed me when Kenneth was like, I don't have any friends. I was like, what was Bok to you then?
Yeah.
What was he? Because I loved him.
We all love Walk, Kenneth. What happened to him?
I remember coming out of your mouth, somebody's murdered my friend. And I remember you'd accused him of being a criminal just before he died. Surely that's hanging over him.
They go into that. They're just like, Kenneth's pretty cool with everything, really. That Poirot's a stone cold killer.
Do you reckon the screenwriter forgot they wrote Death on the Nile?
I think they were trying to I think they've done a really good job of being like, hey, remember Murder on the Orient Express? Kind of from like 8 years ago. Here's the next one.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Death on the Nile. Because they've just thrown a lot out the window, really.
Yeah. I do want to say, I think the gothic look helps this, like...
Yeah, I'm mixed on the camera, cinematography, and like editing choices. I think it gives off a very spooky, disorienting vibe, and I guess it does work for the sense that like
he's high on opium.
Yeah, everyone in this castle, everyone is just fucked on these flowers. But I don't think they do enough of a good job of like doing it. It just feels like all the shots are very oddly shot. They have like a big meeting, and everyone's shot. They go like one wide to establish where everyone is, and then everyone's on the either like the second half of the frame.
Yeah.
And they just cut
They
to that
use so much negative space all
so
the
much,
time.
yeah.
It was very, very like Tom Hooper, sort of like Les Miserables, Cats style.
Well, because they're also kind of going for like, I don't think we get like a horror like jump scare until like halfway throughout the film. So I guess that's kind of what their intent was, but most of it isn't that.
Yeah.
What do we think of the horror? Do you vibe it?
I vibe the tone. I don't vibe the attempt at the horror.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's really going that hard into it
No,
anyway.
it's
so
like
I don't
stepping
know.
in. It's like, should we go in this direction, huh?
Yeah.
Do people like this?
It's just like dipping a little toe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get into like him doing his interviews.
Yes.
So he obviously sits down with everybody as per usual. Everybody gives long, sad monologues. They all cry.
Yeah.
Everyone cries in their monologue.
Yeah.
I was so annoyed. I was like, can somebody just not cry in a monologue? Just sit there, arms folded, and be like, I'm not giving you nothing.
Even the bodyguard had like, and he was so stoic. He was like, "I'll break down if you ask me any questions, though." Because who we get?
Where'd you get your shoes from? And he's like, "Don't, Poirot."
Best and less. You know that, Poirot. We were there together. You mocked me then, and you're mocking me now.
I know you say you don't have friends. Who am I to you? What was mocked to you?
You hurt me. Should we go through the two helpers, Michelle Yeoh? They're pretty much immediately like, well, they're the killers, and then immediately ruled out.
They just get tied up and left on a chair for a while, so they're out of here.
Who else we got? We got sort of like
The
this,
housekeeper?
Like, the housekeeper, yeah. I don't really know what her character is. She's very kind.
Is she?
She's kind of
She's
going.
very heavily religious.
She's very religious, and I think goes down that whole path of like, hey, this whole place is cursed. I don't know. I couldn't really keep up with the sort of like
I paid
lore behind.
no attention to her. Yeah, either way, it's just never going to be her.
No.
So it's just, why even bother?
We've also got Jamie Dornan.
Yeah.
I keep mispronouncing his name. He's a PTSD war vet, it seems.
Yeah, and a doctor.
Yes.
And it feels like he should not be sole custody of a child.
No. He's very loving, but he's definitely damaged. I guess it's the 1940s. They're like, hey, drink some whiskey, huh? Huh? You're back from war.
Yeah, it was rough that he's like 8-year-old kid's like, here, Dad, pop some pills. You forgot to pop them earlier.
He's very angry. Constantly, he's like, Dad, you're not angry. He's like, I'm going to smash a chair if I could.
Yeah.
It's...
I at one stage I was like, maybe he's just killed everybody out of just sheer being startled.
Yeah, he's like,
Just
I got shell shock. I saw a mask and I went for the knife and went.
He seems like the worst person to invite to a séance.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why they're here.
And brought a child as well. It's...
So are they all living in this house together?
No, I think the mum was, the woman, the daughter, and I guess the fiance.
Yeah,
maybe the doctor was visiting occasionally.
No, but it feels like they're all very close with the kid, right? Because
Not that close.
But surely he's living there. Otherwise, why the fuck are they there tonight?
I don't know. I think they've all been invited to the seance.
Why would you even go?
Who set up the seance?
If it's 1947 and it's Venice, I am not going to a seance.
Also, if I was the mum had to have set up the seance. Otherwise, why would anyone be here?
But why would she invite? Oh no, what's it called? People set up the seance.
Who?
The Tina Fey and the bodyguard. They set it
Gotcha.
all up to try and trick Poirot for their book.
Gotcha.
Remember, they did everything.
Yes.
And then it just so happened Kelly Riley was like, I'm gonna kill a bunch of you.
Oh my god, that's so convoluted.
Yeah,
I don't know if I love that.
God. Great writing. Powerful. So we get the kid who's just sort of like waiting outside doors.
Yeah, he's like, I'll give the camera this. Constantly they're framing this kid as a bit of a freak. Just like, you'll open a door and he's like, hey, I heard there's some clues behind there. You looking for me, Poirot? I would love to just get questioned by you. Go on, ask me a question. I'll tell you everything. Freaky.
Yeah, he's just like, I write everything down. Fucking everything, Poirot.
Reading Edgar Allan Poe, he kills. And I feel alive when I get to that part in the book.
I've burned every Dr. Seuss novel I've ever read. But this guy, fucking Edgar Allan Poe.
Ow!
Ever heard of a thing called a raven? Shit.
I don't know. I feel like we're like just... They go down to like the underground basement.
Yeah.
It's painted like a Looney Tunes door.
Yeah, it was fun.
It
I
was.
was like, oh, is he going to run into the door? He
Yeah.
didn't. But then he barged it
They go
open.
down this door. There's the apple. There's like this doll. There's a lot of like things sort of peppered into the film as like red herrings.
Yeah. It's hilarious, the clues in the movie.
Yeah.
Because he is stumbling over them so buffoonishly. Like, oh, what is that? Another ripped half of a photograph? And that one's another ripped half of a photograph. And he's just sort of keeping his ears perked for people to be like, this soundproof door.
Don't worry, that man in there who might be the killer isn't a soundproof door. You can't hear any from there. If you were in here, no one could hear a murder or be murdered. Anyway, let's go up to my garden. Flowers. If a bee got to this, the honey would be poisoned.
God, if I had a child, I'd make them sick for joy. Don't take my word for it. Maybe I've overshared.
It's crazy. Most of it is just people oversharing.
It is. So many people love to overshare. I will say it's been a struggle in the other movies. I don't think they've done a good enough job at him being good at being a detective.
Yes.
But I will say that when he does the interrogation on the brother and the sister in this movie, I was like, okay, like this is them showing off his skills of like pitting two people.
Cross-examining.
Yeah,
yes.
Cross-examining, making them like sort of cave on one another
Yes.
because they're not being done together. I enjoyed that moment.
It's a shame because I feel like Death of the Nile was like fun and wacky.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like, I mean, he's done it 3 times now, so he should be okay at this.
Yeah.
It's still not like perfect, but
No.
he's like patchworked all the issues.
He keeps refining.
Yeah.
Like it's...
But he's refining kind of like a pretty shit thing I don't really want to watch. So,
At what stage you just gotta go, dude, just stop refining.
just stop refining. Make another Belfast if you want. Don't stop.
Don't make another Belfast.
It was not the place to go. Don't make a big budget Agatha Christie. Stop polishing it until it's golden. It will never be golden.
I do love that for some reason a studio's producing big budget Agatha Christie. I think that's nuts. I think he should be using this character as like a proxy to just do her other big novels.
Yeah.
Like I think he should just be grabbing Poirot and just like somehow making And Then There Were None.
Yeah.
And some of those other ones. Just like fuck it. Why do you even need to do these other ones?
Yeah.
Because it's just they've definitely refined it in a way where the last one was too long. So this one is like an hour 35 with credit, like without credits. And then they've gone, let's get rid of all the CGI. Let's set it in like. I will say all the interrogations, really good locations.
Yeah.
Right?
I liked
Like,
it.
set design.
I was a bit off with the editing and like shot composition, but you're right. Like it's all interesting. Like it's crazy. It is all set in a house. 'Cause it doesn't really feel that claustrophobic. I feel like Death of the Nile. Half of it was on that boat.
Yeah,
I felt
and
we were on
it's
the
just
boat.
and it's just
I
like
felt we were on the
beautiful
boat for
CG,
so long,
like-
and the train felt so long. Whereas this felt more complex,
Yeah.
which is great.
And I think because it's just like fucking 95 minutes.
It's quick. Yeah.
It's just they're plowing through it.
Yes.
So, but also it's crazy. It's like at 95 minutes, it's still like the middle. You're just sort of like, ugh.
The middle drags because you're sort of like you've established the characters. It's definitely done it more naturalistic. I feel like I knew these characters pretty well.
Same. I think this is the best like group character wise.
Because the first one, they were kind of like, we're just not going to tell you anything. You're going to figure it out each 5 minutes. Second one, they're like, fuck it, we're just naming them all. This one, they were kind of like, here's Tina Fey. Here's like 2 pivotal ones, and you're going to learn that it's much better paced. Again, they finally learned how to do it.
It did. It definitely worked better because this time around he wasn't the lead.
Yes.
Like it was like he comes into a predetermined situation.
Yes.
So it felt like all these other characters had lived a lot. Like all this other stuff had happened without him.
Yes.
And
Which is crazy. They just got rid of the 40 minutes of Poirot at the front.
Yeah.
Which is why it's 90 minutes.
Oh, I know. Could you imagine if this also had 40 minutes of him in another war?
Oh my god. Because he was in World War I the first time. Was it? It was World War I?
I can't remember. But I would love it if we found out he has a giant mustache on his boy. He's got back hair.
Yeah.
It's just like another bomb went off there in World War II. He's just like,
Oh god, my bald back. No one will love me. God, I'm hideous.
I hope we find out, like, I hope we get a flashback in the 4th one of, like, why he loves the dessert. That'd be fun.
His wife was like, hey, honey, want a dessert? And they got shot in the head. He's like,
Yeah.
I will always remember you for your desserts.
Ever sipped custard and jelly through a straw? And he was like, wow. All right. I love a
I was
cheeky
picking
dessert.
the bullet out of my wife's brain when I was slurping down some custard and jelly. I've not had custard and jelly for so long. I fucking
Neither.
love.
Should we get some
I
fucking
would love
custard and
some
jelly?
custard and jelly.
Yeah, I don't even know why that came to my mind.
It's such like it's liquid and like solids, but like not. It's very a gloopy mess. But my god, mix that shit together. You get like
So
a raspberry.
mushy.
Oh
So
my
much
god,
mush.
it's stunning.
Oh, it's got what I'd give to be in a hospital right now eating
Oh
that.
my god, someone's spoon feeding it to me.
Oh, it's so good. Someone flatlining in the
Yeah.
bed across from
That
me.
adds to the atmosphere of a custard and jelly.
Oh,
You
it's so
need
good.
death around you to really absorb
do.
it. It's like Christmas. You need some snow outside. You need a man dying next to you.
Absolutely. Just a. And then, I don't know, maybe somebody screaming down the hall. who's
Someone
gone into
shitting in a
cardiac
pan
arrest.
pan. It's great. You know, that's really where that food like thrives.
And them just being like, is this curtain a good enough wall for you? And you going, no. And they're going, okay, well, we can't really close it anyway.
Can't sound, if we're in a soundproof room, you can murder someone, but not this curtain. You're gonna hear all the murders.
By the way, you got scurvy. And you're like, damn.
Will the raspberry jelly help? No.
No, we've only got lime.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You need orange to get rid of scurvy.
We're fresh out. Imagine we've got orange jelly and that's it. Just rubbing that into your scurvy.
Yeah, the middle's long, and there's not much to say.
Let's get to the next murder.
Yeah.
Jamie Dornan. Boom. He's got a knife in his back.
Yes.
So it's crazy they don't even focus on the kid's expression. The kid's just sort of like,
The kid's like, you know what? The pill addiction was getting a bit exhausting. I didn't want to blame him as a father, but I felt like I was fathering him.
Yeah.
It's a burden off my head.
the look on this kid's face is, okay, that helps.
Yeah.
This makes things cleaner. Like, it's just like things weren't going well for him. I loved him like you would a wounded animal.
But he
at
need to be
some-
put it down.
I gotta tell you, when the dad was dead, I suspected the kid a little.
I did too. The film does a good. I mean, guys, I guess you're just like, well, the kid doesn't do it, but he's got. I'm
got
still
something.
suspicious, and I'm glad the film was like, yeah, that little kid did a lot.
Yeah, well, that kid is like, go on, have a rest, Jamie, and
Yeah.
then like gives him a little on the forehead. And I was like,
Oh my god,
fucking-
the kiss of death.
Yeah,
Jesus
I was like,
Christ.
it's like, Jamie, you've been marked, and I think that was a behind the scenes thing.
You saw you on Belfast. I'm getting my goddamn revenge, buddy. I'm gonna outact you.
Just putting the blanket over him. Hey, guess what? Just got you written out of the film.
We're mid-shoot. They're gonna fix it in editing. I'm an orphan, baby. This is an orphanage. I own this place. Okay?
That's right. Half a paycheck for you. The rest is going to me. Gonna get such a good juicy scene later. Damn.
He's killed, and everyone's like, "Pugh, okay, well,
The one that he got in a fight with was just like, oh, thank God.
yeah.
It's also, they haven't been at much of a panic. Oh, I guess maybe because they thought maybe she's fallen and died.
Yeah.
But I thought they'd all be at a bit more of like one of you people could kill me at any moment.
Yes.
Not until this moment that they're like, I should be afraid of
Yeah.
everybody
Okay.
here.
Okay.
The paranoia. I think
A
the movie
white
was-
man's died. Okay. Let's really put this into high gear. Jesus Christ. It's they're a bit more. I think this is when does he just like shut the gates? He's like, all right, let's figure this out, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, he just sort of was like, I've worked it out.
Yeah.
As soon as he like has seen that, I think it's let's get to the reveal.
Yeah.
So basically, they're all there, and he's like, "It's you.
Yeah.
It's you,
The
Kelly
mother of
Yeah.
the woman who
Riley,
died.
Kelly Riley.
Yes.
It's you."
And she's like, huh? How could it be me? And when the film flash forwards to the start of the movie, because she starts first, she's like, well, I would give my little darling some honey sometimes. So,
It was just like the honey was poison.
Yeah.
I've had some of it tonight. I will say, look, in terms of reveals and stuff, I think I enjoyed this one actually the most out of the three,
Yeah.
having not knowing what the ending is. But this ending to me was like, it's a lot of information we weren't given.
oh yeah, it's like that. Like I feel like we both clocked like the soundproof room. She winks at the camera person for that one.
Oh, it's the-
But then the biggest like twist is like I've been poisoning my daughter with the flowers that have been grown on the roof, and like Poirot's first thing is like, so those flowers were poisonous, huh? And I don't remember them really telling us that much.
I mean, it was just like a lot of I think like a lot of it's good in terms of the reveal pays off a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That they've
So
set
they've been
up.
like sort of throughout the thing, like a lot of people have been seeing visions. And there's been sort of
Yeah.
like there's like one nice like mirror scared thing for Poirot, and she's pretty much like, man, all this honey's pretty psychoid. Like, you're gonna freak out, you know?
I would have just loved it if he was like, and I've just been inducing opium on myself the entire time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just found some.
He's been
just
poo
loving
bearing.
it.
He's been like, he's in a crop top. He's just got a pot of poison honey, scooping it in his mouth, full fists, just. That's a freeing life, huh? Imagine that crop top, big jar of honey, spelled Hunny. Oh, he's got the right attitude, that little bear, huh? And Poirot could have that.
But he's missing out.
I would be too.
I did like how she was able to get Jamie Dornan to kill himself.
Yes. I mean, I think it's kind of cheating. Essentially, we find out that she was getting blackmailed because
this is the information. I'm like, this is shitty.
Yeah.
We should have clues as to her being blackmailed. They're like,
just like a look or something, because essentially the mum has poisoned the daughter with the honey.
Yeah.
Then she's got a blackmail note, and she assumes the doctor because he's the one that would have done the autopsy. So then she's like, calls up Jamie Dornan midway through the film, and is like, hey, I know you're blackmailing me. If you don't kill yourself, I'm going to kill your son.
yeah.
He doesn't have too much resistance to this. I assume because he does have PTSD, and he's like, I kind of need to get out.
No, I think he hates his son.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's just like... I'm
He was
surprised
like-
he wasn't just like, kill him.
No, I think he knew that he's like, man, if this kid dies, they're gonna blame me. They've seen me be a violent monster. Yeah, I blame me, you know? I blame me. So he grabs a sword, just fucking kills himself, walks straight into that.
Yeah.
I do think he does do the back. I think he should have left a note.
Yeah.
I think, give him a little heads up. Hey, by the way, it's her.
weird I guess maybe she was trying to make it look like she absolutely couldn't be the murderer, which is why he needed to make it look like somebody had murdered him.
He follows her instructions very clearly.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd be a bit more spiteful.
Yeah, I think so too. It's also, I think it's a lot of lead up. If I had been given that, I'd be like, oh, what wall do I use?
Yeah.
And I'd probably start doing it and be like, that hurts. I don't want
He's
to go
confident
through
with it, yeah.
Really confident suicide.
Yeah.
Like, you got to hand it to him.
Well, that's the thing. He's a great actor. I've seen
Yeah.
him in Belfast, and the kid honestly saw that scene and went, fuck me, Ted. He's brought it back and he's earned that paycheck. That's the Jamie's charm, huh?
He'd just done that scene and the kid was in a little chair in the corner going, get off my fucking set.
And scene, I guess. I will say, I feel like we shout on Jamie for like 50 Shades of Grey all those like years ago.
Is that him?
Yeah, he's in 50 Shades. Let me just double check.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I'd
He's in 50
completely
Shades.
forgotten he did.
He blends into that. I feel like he's had like such a
I think they both got away scot-free.
They did, didn't
Dakota
they?
Johnson and him.
Yeah.
I have no connotation that they did
Because
those
he's in
films.
Barb and Star, and I think he nails that.
so good
It's
in
such
Barb
a
and Star.
redemption. I actually
Yeah.
love that film, so
Yeah.
he's very good in that. So he could do no
Oh,
wrong.
you should see him in Belfast. He's passable.
Yeah, he kills himself. Just but he listens to her.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, everyone, come gather around. I was downstairs, not here. He totally like got murdered by like, but who? Ah."
Yeah, I think the blackmail thing is what ticked me off because I was like, well, how was I meant to know?
Yeah.
I know, like, Tina Fey said something earlier where she's just like, oh, God, why is she poor right now?
Yeah.
Just like...
There's some lines you're like, I feel like for most of them, even though watching them, I can kind of pick up on it. Rewatching this one, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like the Knives Out, I feel like all we've talked about is them. But
we just come a bit like, God, Knives Out so much better than these
do a modern
films.
mystery. That's it, really. I've just been like, you rewatch, you go, oh, there's something clever, like, you feel smart. Whereas this one, I'd be like, fuck off, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end, the mum finds out she ends up getting herself killed somehow.
Yeah. Poirot leads her to the top of the rooftop.
Yeah.
And then, like, a spirit kind of, like, scares him and her.
Yeah.
She falls off the roof.
Yeah.
Dies.
Well, okay, but we do know this. He was on opium.
Love opium.
So he probably
so
pushed
much
her.
fucking opium.
He definitely pushed her.
I think he was in a drug-induced rage. He
Yeah.
pushed her. He always has to figure out the killer. Never gets to be the killer, you know?
know.
I think that's it's crazy in the first one he let the murderer go. In the second one he let his best friend die. Pretty much like let everyone else go that was pretty much complicit in the murder. And this one he killed the murderer.
He's
bad at his job.
He's bad at his job. He loves letting people get away with it. His bodyguard's just like, I guess you're going to put me in jail for extortion or whatever. And he's like, no, just don't do it.
I
Don't
love
do
it that
again.
his, like, I don't know, moral code is pretty much like, listen, I'll figure out the sort of biggest crime in the room. Everything else, water under the bridge, baby.
He's
See you tomorrow on Monday, huh?
he's like, what, petty crime? No, not interested.
No.
Just like, go hand yourself in.
I
if you
go
want.
for the big stuff, the big stories.
So then we've got like the kid finally reveals he was the one that was blackmailing.
Yeah. This kid freaked me out a lot.
Absolutely.
He was wearing these like black murder gloves while he was getting adopted on the boat, and he just stood there with such a presence
Yeah.
of just
Like
someone.
he was going to kill the rest
He
of
was
them.
going to kill the rest of them.
I thought he should have been arrested preemptively because I feel like he would just kill someone down the road in his life.
Oh, 100%. This kid was very on the ball with a lot of things of where to kill people, and I wasn't happy about it, really.
I do love that the Poirot was like, "What'd you do with all that money?" He's like, he was like, I was modest with it. We just sort of paid for bills, and I just want to make sure my dad was okay.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't really want anyone to get hurt. And he's like, you could make things right now. And he takes that as just like, oh, and I'll shout you guys a trip to America. But I think it was Poirot strongly hinting at getting paid.
Oh, yeah. You know, the common courtesy is 25% twib.
Just being,
Little boy, I mean, I'm very proud of you. You know, you look up to me, so maybe a little bit of, Missy Coquin.
imagine going to sleep at night not knowing who killed your father. But I still
Imagine the kid's like, nah, I'm fine, Poirot. Poirot goes around and shakes him like, you killed him. It's your fault, and you'll never get him back. You'll never get him back.
Poirot just look at me like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about who killed everybody. Maybe it was you.
I think I've seen you with the bloody knife. Who they gonna believe, the cop or the kid?
Nobody will ever believe a kid. Now get me 2 eggs, little boy. And a whole lot of money.
You've just gone to like a Nazi Germany accent. You've missed the French completely. You've gone, I go 1940s German scientist. That's really what Poirot gives off. In fairness, energy-wise, yeah. This kid's run off with a lot of money, and I think that nanny was just like, "Hey kid, come over here. We're not paying Poirot. You come over here. We'll make sure that money's cool."
Yeah. The nanny was just like, okay, me and you, kid, we're in this together. Let's pretend we're taking these fucking freaks to America. We'll drop them off at the next stop.
Drop them off in Spain, and we're gonna make our way to sweet, sweet Iceland.
Me and you are going to take all that cash. You still got a pocket full of opium. I grabbed a little bit of that honey. We're going to have a fucked up time. I know I said I was into religion, but I'm into greed now.
Here's the thing about greed. When you have the thing, God, it's good. Oh my God. I've never had the stuff to be greedy about, but when you got it, oh my God. This is a high in itself, but the honey will be a better high.
I did also love that kid just like, as the boat was going, leading up, just being like, see you, Dad.
Yes, he turns to the house. See you, Dad. See you, Dad. Very nonchalantly. He was not affected by the death.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
He knew he was on his outs. Like he said, I will stand by the fact if he hadn't done it to himself,
Yeah.
that kid was thinking about doing
Oh,
it.
yeah, 100%. Can't stress enough, not the actor, the character. I can't stress this enough, though. The character wanted to kill the dad.
Oh, absolutely, guys. We've only been talking about the characters, but all the actors do a fine job. I think,
Yeah,
in this
everyone's
one.
doing fine.
Everyone's doing
Yeah.
well. I actually think this is maybe the best. Kenneth is also at Poirot. I enjoyed him the most here.
I think so, but again, I think because he's in the background.
I think
really.
he dialed himself back. I
Yeah.
think that was smart. So I think this movie has like a lot of pluses. Like I think
It's nice to see a film franchise that's not like famous for being great, but like I feel like we've seen 2 failed attempts and then kind of the culmination of that in a pretty bog standard film. Still a bog standard film though.
no, it's a shame. I think Devil in the Nile's so campy.
Yeah.
And like stupid. This is like cozy. I could see myself watching this again in 40 years, I reckon.
Well, that audience absolutely I think they all pretty much got around it. It's crazy that was like their Avengers, you
Yeah.
know? That was just huge for them.
I know, they were really into it.
Yeah.
When the reviews for this started coming out, a lot of people were comparing it to another Kenneth Branagh film called Dead Again.
Oh yeah.
So I went out and watched that.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think?
It's like I think it suffers like from pacing issues, but like it's a really like good romp of like a horror mystery. like good stuff.
When was this? Is this before his his Hamlet and
It's
stuff?
it's actually his directorial follow up to his debut.
Gotcha.
So I think it was, what did he do? Henry the Fifth or Sixth or something, and then
One of
Dead
the
Again.
Henrys,
Yeah.
huh? There's a few.
Yeah. But it's like really fun.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It's good. It's good. Like, I was like, where's that Kenneth?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're odd choices, but my God, like, you look at, like, Cinderella and Thor, and they're just, like, such bog standard choices. This one's got interesting ones.
You know what I will throw out though is now that we've seen so many of these like Disney remakes,
Yeah.
his is probably the best because it's like beautiful costumes and like a real filmmaker.
Cinderella?
Yeah, the Cinderella has like a lot of like really beautiful sets and costumes that make it very. I don't know. It's just like not as intensely CG.
No,
as-
I think because they'll find their footing, and they were kind of like, "Why are we CGI? Let's just make some stuff." And then there's the like, "Oh, let's just fucking CGI everything."
Yeah.
It's an odd one. It feels like genuinely the most average film.
Yeah.
If I like, that's the most like. If I need to think of one, that's it.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you say it, actually, yeah. Because I feel like compare that to Aladdin, it's like completely.
Oh, it
opposite
is.
ends.
It's like they're out in an actual forest. They're riding on horses. They're like her dress is like sick in that movie. Yeah, there's an attempt.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I don't know. We got very off topic. Poirot lives to see another day.
Carl, who would watch A Haunting in Venice, huh? Huh?
Ugh.
And I shouldn't have asked you because I really want to take the answer. You take the obvious answer if you want. You know, the coward's way out.
Fine, I won't take the obvious answer.
Hells yeah, thank God.
Yeah, I think if this is for anyone,
Where do you rank?
You know-
what do you rank the?
how would I rank them?
Yeah, the three,
maybe 2, 3, 1.
2, 3, 1.
I think,
As
or
in,
maybe
like-
3, 2, 1. I don't know. I love the camp of the second half of.
That's my thing. I think I enjoy myself
Definitely
in
not.
Definitely
I
Nile.
definitely enjoyed myself in Definitely Not, but I do love that this. Definitely Not was like 40, 30 minutes longer than this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The 2 and
It's
3.
odd, like they're like they've got like similar directing styles,
Yeah.
but such odd, varying pacing.
Yeah.
In terms of like odd choices for all three of them, and just different characters. It's
Yeah.
very odd.
I definitely enjoyed the vibe, the tone, and the setting of this more.
Yeah.
I think we didn't really talk about it, but they like shot the hell out of Venice for however long they were actually at
They
Venice. They
did.
made it look stunning.
Most of the shots are like just like sort of like the B rolls, just like standard, just
Yeah.
like still shots of just like a mask, a
Yeah.
little bird. I thought they would look quite nice, really.
Yeah,
I thought,
well, I mean, we just saw Venice was like done in that new Mission Impossible. And I
Yes.
thought it was like one of the weakest
was-
looking bits of that movie.
I was gonna say Tom Cruise was fighting on one of the bridges that Poirot got pushed off. So isn't that fun?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's yeah. I mean,
Like it's actually a really flat looking cinematography scene.
Well, I
in
remember
that movie.
most of the Venice stuff is in this tiny alleyway.
Yeah.
That's most of the scene, and then they sword fight on the bridge.
Yeah, I don't mind the alleyway scene because
Oh,
I
I
sort
think
of love.
it's a great action sequence in
Yeah.
the sense it's like all tight, but it is.
Yeah.
That's all I remember from the Venice scene.
Yeah,
Really.
I remember there's a scene with a bunch of candles, and I was like, God, we should do more of the candles.
Oh.
Do you remember he's like down a hall? with a
Yeah,
bunch
he's
of fucking
running down the
It's
candles.
stunning.
That is good.
And then they go out into like this dull like hallway, and they're like, "This is Venice to us," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, all right."
We pivoted, but hey,
Yeah.
I freaking love Mission Impossible.
Who do I think it's for? I think genuinely, if you loved Belfast, surely you're not going to turn your nose up at a reteam.
Yeah,
Like
it's huge.
to get Kenneth behind the camera, Jamie Dornan, and that kid again in the front, like it's just on screen potential.
Academy voters came out in flocks. This does feel, and it's so nice being validating because I kind of had the idea that like I guess old people are watching. It's like I think we've kind of vaguely. It's crazy seeing in the cinema what a turnout this was.
Yeah.
Like it is all like it's 50-year-old people that love a bit of Agatha and I guess love these. I
Yeah.
guess this is where the money is coming from because kids aren't watching this. Surely, maybe they might turn out, but oh my god, if you're an adult. You're gonna fucking love this one, huh?
I think so. Like it's definitely got its crowd.
Yeah.
Like after going tonight, I was like, it depends how much of their crowd was burned after Definitely Nile. People hated Definitely Nile.
Yeah,
like my
gotcha.
parents hated Definitely Nile.
Yeah.
And I think they were meh on Murder on the Orient Express. But you know what it is? is sometimes just a lack of adult films.
That's really it,
Like,
isn't it? Yeah.
Oppenheimer did really well because it was just like, hey, this is a movie made for adults. Fucking keep up. Like, it's, I don't know. It's just like this very rarely.
It's a nice trip to the cinema if you're
Yeah.
over 40, I think.
Yeah, if you want to watch, like, I think, Kills of the Flower Moon's coming out, Napoleon's coming out, Poor Things,
Oh,
like,
Napoleon is for the dads. So
Oh, it is.
that's their Barbenheimer.
there's a lot of dad content coming
Oh,
out.
it's huge for
It's
dads.
big for dads.
Yeah.
So, this one's,
This is just the start of the dad renaissance, It's
Yeah.
the 2023. The
Dad-a-sance.
The dad-a-sance. They need it. They need it. Huh?
Kenneth's kicked off the data sons and he is proud. Oscar, what are we reviewing next week?
What do we decide?
We haven't decided.
haven't decided?
Yeah.
Carl, we haven't decided. So email at askwtpodcast@gmail.com. You've got 6 days, okay? And then we'll have to figure out something, huh?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe The Nun?
I don't know. We'll go see the Nun.
No, I mean the first one.
Maybe. Oh,
We
maybe.
can do The Nun.
Ah,
Have we done a Conjuring movie on here before?
I don't think so. I like The Conjuring though. Is the
but
Nun bad?
The Nun's bad, I think.
Nuts.
It's
Not
about
the
a nun.
Maybe. Email us. We'll figure it out. We'll flip a coin.
If somebody doesn't tell us something, we're just gonna do The Nun. I mean, I think we've got some things we could fish out.
We've got a bunch of stuff.
Now we're just doing scheduling on the podcast,
Yeah.
so that's not good.
Let's take the time.
It's on the spreadsheet. Maybe
What are you
it's
doing
just like-
Wednesday, huh? What are you doing Wednesday?
You talking to a listener or me?
You.
Oh, I don't know. Sleeping.
We have what? Huh?
Yeah,
You've been. This is a microphone. What the fuck? Jesus.
Who knew? I've been slyly recording our conversations every week. Wouldn't that be such a reveal?
It does make sense. It was odd. We'd only talk for an hour at a time, and then you'd be like, "I'm out of here. Get me out of this fucking room."
Got a dip.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.